it's Fran from Living Your Greatest Life. Co-parenting with a narcissist can be extremely difficult. In fact, I think probably the best term would be not co-parenting, but parallel parenting. If you would like to understand 10 easy steps to tackling parallel parenting, co-parenting with a narcissist, then this is the video for you. I'm going to break it down in 10 easy steps. So step 1 is limited contact or no contact at all. If you can possibly do this, this is the best way forward. However, it's not really realistic if you have children together. So limited contact is the thing. So no unwanted calls, no unplanned calls, nothing like that, just limited contact, which leads me on to step 2. All communications must be via written form. So that could be text message, email, everything needs to be written. It's the easiest way. It's the easiest way of not getting drawn into any kind of conversations that you don't want to have. It keeps it simple, it keeps it factual, to the point, and child-centered. So there is another option, which is option 3, considering using a parenting app. Many different parenting apps on the market. Some of them have a small charge. I think there's one in the UK that has no charge. Lots of them have different aspects that you can use. You probably won't need all the kind of bits. You've got a calendar that you can share, stuff like school holidays. You can write all the communication. You can even download the files, and if it needs to go to your solicitor, you can kind of create a PDF to save all those files. Also the facility on some of them to record calls. So for example, if your if your ex and child are having a conversation that needs to be monitored, or if you need to have that conversation and you're worried about how that conversation is going to be, if there's going to be any kind of abusive vocabulary, that kind of, it provides a safety net. So I would strongly suggest going forward, putting in the boundaries. That parenting app is a really good thing to use if you can afford to do so, and if you think it's going to help you. Always keep a diary, because parenting with a narcissist is a massive challenge, and it can actually make you forget your own head. So keeping a diary, logging every single thing, things that you may not think are important, will help you if you need to in the future identify a pattern of behaviour or a pattern of contact that was late, or a pattern of abuse. So always keep a diary. Obviously, one thing I will say is make sure it's well hidden. Don't allow your children to see that, because they don't want to see stuff listed about the other parent. That's not fair on them. So keep it hidden, keep a written diary. You could possibly keep it on a diary on your phone, but that's probably a lot harder to do. So just a little kind of handheld diary would be the way to go. I would strongly suggest that. Moving on to tip 5, obviously keeping a diary and evidencing everything will help you. Going forward, record any harassment or any abusive language or difficulties with the police. They probably won't do anything, but actually just to have it logged is a good thing, because again, it helps to identify a pattern of behaviour. You don't want to get sort of 10 years down the line and you're powerless because you've got no evidence to show how difficult this person is, and the danger to your children. Any contact with the children should include the exact time of contact, the exact location, the exact drop-off point, collection point. Don't leave anything to chance. Just everything, even the holiday schedule, that needs to all be set out. And if possible, get a child arrangements order, so like a contact order, get it written down. Not that many people like that kind of narcissistic parents will ever pay any attention to it, but at least you have it in writing, and it just needs to be followed, because one thing the narcissist doesn't have is boundaries, and will try to push them, will try to change the times, turn up late, everything. So again, always kind of be boundaried and have something in place, such as a contact order, if you can afford to do so. And point 7, with the contact order, even include any times of phone calls, because otherwise you may open yourself up to a dialogue going on in your house, which is kind of undermining the structure that you're trying to do. So you can have two very different parenting things, and while maybe you're trying to do something with your child and enjoy that time, the narcissist will try surely to hijack that. So yes, so have that detailed in a contact order if you have one. If you've got a kind of mediation agreement, have it detailed in there. And if it is just an email between you, a document that you've agreed yourself, I can't imagine that would happen. But if you're lucky enough to be in that situation, then get it documented in there. Number 8, if it's at all possible, always consider having some level of security camera or something, just in case you get an altercation on the doorstep, or you're trying to evidence something. It sounds really really paranoid to regular people that haven't experienced this type of behavior, that you should have to go to those levels to be boundaried and protect yourself. But yes, if you could afford to do so, and you're happy to do so, maybe a security camera at the, you know, if your ex comes to the door to collect your children, if you can avoid that situation and you can do it on neutral ground, that's brilliant. So often a lot of people decide like to use the pick up and drop off from school. If that can happen, marvelous. 9, always stay focused on the child or children and the arrangements regarding the child or the child's health, the child's schooling. Stay child focused in any interactions that you have with that other parent. Stay completely focused on that. And there again, when it's in written form, you can't deviate from that. So if the narcissist chooses to deviate from the conversations going on about the child, and it isn't in the child's best interest, then again, that's something you can evidence. You shouldn't have to live like this, but actually I would say it's essential to guard yourself from further stuff. So yes, which leads me on to point 10. So this is the last point, and it's very, very important. If you are lucky enough to have any face-to-face or telephone contact with the narcissist, if that has to happen, only do it if you're strong enough, because you know that with any communication with the narcissist comes a degree of mental manipulation and cruelty, and it's emotionally draining. So only do it if you have to. And without going into the technicalities and proper terminology, I would suggest that one of the most important things that you do during that conversation, if anything is fired at you which is emotionally abusive or is off topic, so it's not child-centered, just don't respond with any emotion. Imagine you're an android, and just don't show any emotional reaction to that. Keep very calm, speak in the same kind of level of voice, and if you choose to and it becomes too much, just disengage completely. So don't comment, and certainly don't be fooled into responding in a negative manner, because you know, if you're on the defensive, it's going to make you feel like you have to respond in a certain way. So my advice would be avoid it at all costs if you can, but occasionally there's going to be times when you have to, because obviously you have children together, and as time goes on, you will learn how to protect yourself and how to hold your ground, and stay strong in that kind of conversation and situation, and wishing you all the best. So that's the end of this video. I will be doing further videos on this topic. If you're interested, like and subscribe. Have a look at the links below, and I'll see you in my next video.